National relation from the second quarter of 2024. So, G20 Leaders Summit and Outcomes. The 18th G20 Summit was held in New Delhi under the India's presidency. Founded in 1999 following the Asian financial crisis to discuss global economic and financial issues, G20 Summit held annually under the leadership of a rotating presidency. Presidency is supported by a troika, that is previous, current and incoming presidency. Troika consists income. Right now, this is the previous troika. So the previous troika consists of Indonesia, India, and Brazil. It consists of two parallel tracks, that is the finance track and the Sherpa track. It does not have any permanent secretariat or staff, which is why it is operating under the guise of troika. Now, major outcomes of G20 summit. African Union was added as a permanent member of G20. Launch of IMEC, that is India Middle East Economic Europe Corridor. The India Middle East Europe Corridor aims at establishing railway and sea connectivity between Europe, Middle East, and Asia. The project includes India, UAE, Saudi Arabia, and European Union, France, Italy, Germany, and the US. The corridor is part of Partnership for Global Infrastructure Investment, which is a collaborative effort by G7 nations to fund. Now, globally, G20 represents 65% of the world's population, 79% of world's trade, 84% of world's economy, and 79% of world carbon emissions. Now, launch of Global Biofuel Alliance was also part of this declaration. Now, Global Biofuel Alliance has been launched by India, Brazil, and the United States, which together account for 85% of the global ethanol production. Launch of One Future Alliance and creation of Global Digital Public Infrastructure Repository was also part of this summit. Now, decisions that will resonate with for a long time. This is from Hindustan Times. Now, digital public infrastructure. G20 has accepted the idea of digital public infrastructure. Multilateral development banks reforms. The presidency has provided a roadmap for additional resource mobilization through various mechanisms. Now, for climate, the G20 declaration set a target of global net zero emission by 2050. So here 2050 is the date. Now, for crypto, the roadmap was based on IMF FSB synthesis report paper, and the presidency has put the issue of regulation of crypto assets as the forefront of global agenda. Now, AI also was brought into the conversations at G20, and issues like ethics, biases, privacy, data protections were discussed. Now, disasters. The Indian presidency institutionalized the Disaster Risk Reduction Working Group. While the declaration has asked for progress on early warning and action by strengthening the national capacity and finances, it has welcomed the global platform for DRR and has reiterated commitment to the Sendai framework. In an uncertain world, the only certainty is that disaster will increase, and India has put the issue on global agenda. Now, immediate challenge. The Delhi Declaration has tackled two immediate challenges with medium-term implications. On Ukraine, it has simply offered a roadmap of how great geopolitical divide of our times can be prevented from crippling global cooperation. On debt, by pushing forward the management of debt crisis in four nations, that is Zambia, Ghana, Sri Lanka, and Ethiopia, the Indian presidency has provided a roadmap for other such cases. Now, African Union was added as a permanent member at G20 summit held in India. About the African Union was launched in 2002. It is a successor of Organization of African Unity, which was formed in 1963. It is an intergovernmental organization of 55 members located on the continent of Africa. Now, the African Union aims to unite African nations, accelerate the process of political and socio-economic integration of Africa, and address their social, economic, and political challenges. The secretariat is located in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The African Union accounts for $3 trillion of GDP and 1.4 billion people. Now, Sudan, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso are suspended member states. Now, SCO Summit, the 23rd SCO Summit of Shanghai Cooperation Organization was held virtually under India's presidency. Key takeaways from the SCO Summit: Iran has been inducted as the 9th member. The other members are China, Russia, India, and Pakistan. Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. So, out of the Central Asian countries, Turkmenistan is not here because, of course, it does not share any border with China. Now, New Delhi Declaration. The declaration proposes 5 joint statements, which are fight against terrorism, de-radicalization, sustainable lifestyle to tackle climate change, production of millets, and digital transformation. The declaration listed a number of global challenges like the new and emerging conflicts, turbulence in the market, supply chain instability, climate change, and COVID-19 pandemic. India on China's Belt and Road Initiative. India has once again refused to endorse China's Belt and Road Initiative scheme. India is the only country in SCO that has opposed the project. India has also stayed out of the joint statement on SCO Economic Development Strategy of 2030. Now, structure and functioning of SCO. SCO has a political, economic, and security dimension. The organization has 2 permanent bodies, one of which is the Secretariat at Beijing in China, and the other one is Regional Anti-Terrorist Structure, that is RATS, at Tashkent in Uzbekistan. The Heads of State Council is the highest decision-making body in the SCO. It meets once every year to take decision and give instructions on all important issues regarding SCO activity. Heads of Government Council meets once a year to discuss a strategy for multilateral cooperation and priority direction with organization's framework, solve important and pressing cooperation issues in economic and other areas, and adopt the organization's annual budget. There are also mechanisms of meeting on the level of Secretariat of Security Council, foreign ministers, ministers of defense, emergency relief, economy, transportation, culture, education, healthcare, heads of law enforcement agencies, speakers of the parliament, Supreme Court, etc. So multi-dimensional cooperation is we can see from here. Now, Russian and Chinese are the official and working language of SCO. India is pushing for the use of English as the working language. Moving on to Kachativu Island, the CM of Tamil Nadu has called to reclaim the islet from Sri Lanka to resolve the issue of local fishermen. Now, about the Kachativu Island dispute, Kachativu is an uninhabited island on Palk Strait and is administered by Sri Lanka. It is located between Nidinthevu of Sri Lanka and Rameshwaram of India. So, here is Mannar Island. We can see here is Rameshwaram, and here lies the Kachativu Island, halfway between Ninduthevu and Rameshwaram. So here it is. Now, the island has traditionally been used by both Sri Lankan Tamil and Tamil Nadu fishermen. In August 2013, the Union government had told Supreme Court that the issue of reclaiming Kachativu from Sri Lanka did not exist, as no Indian land was given to Sri Lanka. The government said that the historical dispute between British India and Ceylon was settled by the 1974 and 1976 agreements. Moving to ASEAN-India Summit and East Asia Summit. Prime Minister of India attended the 20th ASEAN-India Summit and 18th East India Summit. Now, about ASEAN-India Summit. ASEAN-India Summit was started in 2002 in Cambodia and has been held every year since then. ASEAN includes 10 nations of Southeast Asia. Together, these countries account for 600 million people, that is 0.6 billion people, 6.5% of the global GDP in PPP terms in 2022. In 2022-23, India-ASEAN trade stood at $131.6 billion. Now, at the 20th summit, the Prime Minister of India presented a 12-point proposal for strengthening India-ASEAN cooperation, covering connectivity, digital transformation, trade, economic engagement, addressing contemporary challenges, people-to-people contacts, and deepening strategic engagements. Now, ASEAN consists of these continental states and these island states. Now, the continental countries are Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam. And the island nations are Philippines, Brunei, Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia. Now, about the East Asia Summit. The East Asia Summit is the Indo-Pacific's premier forum for strategic dialogue. It is the only leader-led forum at which all key Indo-Pacific partners meet to discuss political, security, and economic challenges facing upon the region, and has an important role to play in advancing closer regional cooperation. The summit comprises of 18 participating countries, which includes the 10 ASEAN members: Australia, China, India, Japan, New Zealand. So Australia, New Zealand, China, India, Japan, Republic of Korea, Russian Federation, and the USA. So USA is also part of this cooperation. However, we see Canada is not present over here. The first East Asia Summit was held in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia in 2005. Now moving on to Northern Sea route to India. India's engagement with Russia's Arctic region is rising. Russia's Murmansk port handled 8 million tons of cargo between January to July 2023, of which 35% of was shipped to India. Now about the Northern Sea route. The Northern Sea route is a shipping route for freight transport between Europe and Asia Pacific countries. The NSR spans 4 seas of Arctic Ocean, starting at the boundary between Barents Sea and Kara Sea, that is the Kara Strait, and ending in the Bering Strait, that is the Providian Bay. The route includes Sea of Arctic Ocean, which is Kara, Laptev, East Siberian, and Kuchki, which remains housebound during most part of the year. The route measures 5,600 kilometers in length. The 2021 blockade of the Suez Canal highlighted the NSR's significance as an alternative maritime route. Now about the Murmansk port. Murmansk port is one of the largest ice-free ports in Russia. It is located on the Kola Peninsula at the coast of Barents Sea. It is a large transshipment hub. The port ranks 4th in Russia in terms of processed goods and is the second largest port in northwest Russia after St. Petersburg. Now about the Kola Peninsula. Kola Peninsula is a peninsula in the extreme northwest region of Russia and is one of the largest peninsula of Europe. The peninsula lies completely inside Arctic Circle and is bordered by Barents Sea to the north and by White Sea to the east. So White Sea to the east and Barents Sea to the north. White Sea. Now Barents Sea is a marginal sea of Arctic Ocean. It is located off the northern coast of Norway and Russia, and divided between Norwegian and Russian territorial borders. Moving on to Sulena Channel. Sulena Channel has provided an alternative passage to Ukraine for transportation and passage of grains after Russia withdrew from Black Sea grain deal. About Danube River. Danube is the second longest river in Europe after Volga in Russia. It flows through much of Central and Southeastern Europe from Black Forest into the Black Sea. Near Romania, the river begins to spread out into delta, and which has 3 major channels, which is Chilia, Sulena, and St. George. Now about the Sulena Channel. Sulena Channel is a 63-kilometer long distributary of Danube. It lies completely within the territory of Romania. Of the 3 major channels of Danube River, Sulena Channel is the only one deep and wide enough for freight transport. It is a sort of a riverine expressway crucial for transport of goods from inland to Black Sea. Sulena Channel connects major Ukrainian ports on river to Black Sea. Grain from Ukrainian ports are being transferred through Sulena Channel onto Romania's biggest seaport, Constanta. So here we can see there is Constanta. Ismail is inland port over here. Sulena is also a port, and there lies the Bosphorus Strait. Now this route is under constant surveillance and protection of NATO. Maritime Security Partnership. India has been inducted into the Mineral Security Partnership. About the Mineral Security Partnership, it is a US-led partnership to secure supply chain of critical minerals focused at reducing dependency on China. Its members include USA, Australia, Canada, Finland, France, Germany, Japan, South Korea, Sweden, United Kingdoms, and the European Commission. India is the latest member. It will focus on the supply chain of minerals such as cobalt, nickel, lithium, and 17 rare earth minerals. Under the partnership, India can take resources from Australia to meet the growing demands for critical minerals to help India's space and defense industries and manufacture electric vehicles. Now, NATO Plus, a US House Select Committee has recommended inclusion of India in NATO Plus to strengthen it against competition from China. What is NATO Plus? Now, the term NATO Plus is not officially recognized within NATO, but is being used in discussions regarding the potential expansion of the alliance. At present, NATO Plus includes 5 member nations, which are allies of USA, which are Australia, Japan, South Korea, New Zealand, and Israel. It is a security arrangement that brings together NATO and 5 aligned nations to enhance global defense cooperation. NATO is an intergovernmental military alliance comprising 31 member states, mainly from Europe and Northern America. So this has increased. Please check this out. This is somewhat 32 or 33 now. It aims to ensure freedom and security of its members through political and military cooperation. NATO was established in 1949 to counter the threat posed by USSR. It is a collective security system, which means its member states agree to defend each other against attack by a third party. Now, alliance versus partnership. Alliances are a formal agreement between 2 or more nations. Alliances are codified, usually through treaties, and require the action of each members under defined circumstances like war. In national defense, they promise that each nation will support the other. NATO is an alliance created through North Atlantic Treaty. NATO members are US allies. Now, partnerships are less formal and mean cooperation on narrow sets of issues or broader alignment between countries at a given time. Partnerships don't involve treaty, and the level of engagement between partners can vary greatly over time. Now, moving on to the point materials. Now, Djibouti Code of Conduct was established in 2009. It is a grouping on maritime matters aimed at repression of piracy and armed robbery against ships in Western Indian Ocean region and the Gulf of Aden and Red Sea. India has joined the Djibouti Code of Conduct as observer in 2020. ASEAN-India Trade Goods Agreement. It's a trade deal signed in 2009. The agreement covers trade in physical goods and products. It does not apply to trade in services. ASEAN and India signed a separate ASEAN-India Trade in Services Agreement in 2014, along with ASEAN-India Investment Agreement. The 3 agreements collectively form the ASEAN-India Free Trade Area. In 2022-23, India's trade deficit widened to $43.57 billion. Now, BRICS plus 6 new members, that is Argentina from Latin America, Ethiopia and Egypt from Africa, Iran, Saudi Arabia and UAE from the Middle East, have been added to the BRICS group, giving it a new nomenclature of BRICS plus. Now, Abraham Accords refers to a collective agreement between the United States and UAE and Israel that was signed in September 2020. These accords were later extended to countries of Sudan, Bahrain and Morocco. Now, Mekong-Ganga cooperation was launched in 2000 at Vientiane at Lao PDR with the signing of Vientiane Declaration. Both Ganga and Mekong are civilizational rivers. The MGC initiative aims to facilitate closer contact among people inhabiting these 2 major river basins. MGC has 6 members. From Ganga, it is India, and from Mekong, it is Cambodia, Laos, PDR, Myanmar, Thailand, and Vietnam. So all the continental basin countries. Now, moving on. China Plus One strategy refers to the strategy in which companies avoid investing only in China and diversify their businesses to alternative destinations to ensure supply chain resilience. It also pertains to companies moving their factories and services out of China. India has been able to make only marginal gains from China Plus One strategy. Horizon 2047 framework is a framework or roadmap for strategic cooperation between India and France till 2047. Global Crisis Response Group, UNS Secretary General, that is UNSG, created the Global Crisis Response Group to address urgent and interconnected global challenges in food security, energy and finance, fostering international coordination and response. This initiative aims to assist decision makers in mobilizing mobilizing solutions and formulating strategies to support vulnerable countries. Star C initiative, being led by International Solar Alliance and United Nations Industrial Development Organization with funding from Government of France. It aims to create a strong network of institutional capacity within ISA member states to enhance quality infrastructure for uptake of solar energy products and service market. It is focused particularly in least developed countries and small island developing states, that is SIDS. Now, L69 Alliance comprises of developing nations from Africa, Latin America, Caribbean, Asia, and the Pacific. The countries share a collective goal of achieving extensive reform within UNSC and the reinforcing of multilateralism. Kerch Bridge was built by Russia after it invaded and de facto annexed the peninsula of Crimea from Ukraine in 2014. The bridge links Russia's mainland to Crimean Peninsula and the Black Sea. The bridge is a vital supply route for goods heading towards Crimean Peninsula from Russia. The Kerch Bridge was recently attacked by Ukraine, damaging its certain sections. Kerch Strait connects Black Sea and the Sea of Azov, separating the Kerch Peninsula of Crimea in the west and Taman Peninsula of Russia, Krasnodar Krai in east. So Taman Peninsula over here and Kerch Peninsula over here. Now the name of the strait comes from the city Kerch right over here. Here's Sea of Azov and Black Sea, and this is the Kerch Strait. Now Cocos Island or Keeling Island are external territory of Australia in the Indian Ocean. The islands comprises of a small archipelago of 2 atolls made of 27 coral islands, of which only 2 are inhabited. They are located approximately midway between Australia and Sri Lanka, relatively close to the Indonesian island of Sumatra. Cocos can be an important base for refueling and operational turnaround for Indian military. Also because it is close to East Timor, which is the new route for submarines of China. Now moving on to Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. It is the largest nuclear power plant in Europe. It is located in southeast Ukraine in Eronzar on banks of Kharkova Reservoir on Dnieper River. Zaporizhzhia, Dnieper, Kharkova Reservoir, Solomon Islands recently announced comprehensive strategic partnership with China. Here is Solomon Islands. Russia, right over here somewhere would be China, and here is Australia. Japan would be somewhere over here. Moving on to floods in Libya, more than 5,000 people died and thousands more went missing after devastating floods swept through the Libyan port of Derna. Derna is a port city in eastern Libya. It lies on a narrow coastal plain on the Mediterranean under steep mountains running along the coast. Now, coup in Africa. 2 countries underwent military coup in Africa in 2023, namely Gabon in August 2023 and Niger in July. That'll be all for this video. Thank you.